Watch the Powerball drawing live tonight here on TV23. Covering the High Plains with news, weather, and information. From TV23 Studios in Sublet, this is High Plains Today.
Hi, everybody. You know what? It's going to be a warm Wednesday. It's July 13th, 2016. Welcome to High Plains Today right here on TV23. On today's show, John Dahl. He is the state representative representing the 123rd District. We're going to talk to him today about the special session that the governor had called, and they went up and worked on some stuff. In the meantime, let's take a look at some happenings. 24-year-old Chelsea Sosa from Buckland had a court appearance in Ford County District Court on Monday. Sosa had been charged with murder in the first degree and conspiracy of murder in the first degree after an alleged incident occurred that led to the death of Christopher Boyd from Buckland. Now, Boyd's body was found under the bridge north of Buckland in May of 2015, and an autopsy later revealed he had been murdered. The court appearance on Monday was a status hearing that ended up being continued until sometime next week. And a man taken into custody with alleged connections to a shooting at the La Sherpa Bar in Liberal on June 6th has had his preliminary hearing scheduled for October 5th. Christopher Hoskins, who was taken into custody in June, faces 3 charges related to the alleged incident. The charges include first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, and criminal possession of a firearm. The first charge, alleging the first-degree murder of Josephine Vasquez, could carry a sentence of life in prison with no eligibility for parole until after 25 years have been served. And the Kansas Supreme Court documents released on July 7th have ordered the disbarment of Dodge City Attorney Daniel J. Arkell. Now, the court documents state that in a letter signed on June 30th to the clerk of the appellate courts, Arkell surrendered his license to practice law in the state of Kansas. Now, the court documents also state that 5 complaints had been docketed by the disciplinary administrator alleging that Arkell violated Kansas rules of professional conduct. Arkell was charged in April by the Ford County Attorney's Office for sexual battery and intimidation of a witness. In a statement posted on the Ford County Attorney's Office Facebook page, Ford County Attorney Natalie Randall said, Ford County District Court cases 16 CR 178 and 16 CR 180 have been dismissed with prejudice on the basis of a plea agreement. As part of the plea agreement, Arkell has submitted to the Attorney Disciplinary Administrator's Office a letter of voluntarily surrendering his license to practice law in Kansas. And the Kansas Farm Bureau on Friday endorsed congressional challenger Dr. Roger Marshall in his bid to unseat U.S. Representative Tim Huelskamp, marking the first time in its history that the Kansas Farm Bureau chose a challenger over an incumbent. The endorsement, a political plum in the mostly rural 1st District, is Marshall's most significant endorsement to date and comes just weeks before the August 2nd Republican primary. In a statement on social media Friday, Marshall said he was honored to receive the endorsement. And based on July 1st condition, Kansas's 2016 winter wheat crop is forecast at 454 million bushels. Now that's up 41% from last year's crop, according to the Kansas Agricultural Statistics Service. The KASS released the information Tuesday. Average yield is forecast at 56 bushels per acre, up 19 bushels from last year. If realized, this would be a new record yield. The July forecast is up considerable from June's estimation of 395 million bushels of wheat. And don't forget, we've got our big giveaway on our Yeti 30-ounce Rambler cup. You can enter. Just all you got to do is email us at cup@kdgltv.com, or the old-fashioned way, send us a postcard, TV23 KDGL, P.O. Box 447, Sublet, America 67877. We're going to be drawn for that baby tomorrow. Here it is right here. I love mine. So email us, send us a postcard. Be back with a warm forecast after this.
You're watching High Plains Today on TV23 with host Chris Jewell. TV TV23's internet service and 4G live streaming provided by United Wireless. Coverage you deserve. Service you expect. United Wireless.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm home. This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
Now, the local weather forecast for the High Plains.
And welcome back. Hey, as we look off to the northeast over Sublette High School, Junior High. Oh, the football field looks pretty good right away. Let's take a look at our currents here at the station. It is 83 degrees. Relative humidity still kind of sticky out there. 60%. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 5. Barometric pressure. It was holding steady yesterday. It's holding steady again today. Now, the National Weather Service has a little problem. They've got a bunch of servers down, so you can see nobody's reporting any current temps. No current dew points, but we do have our readings here at the station, 60%. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty much the same around the area. Winds are going to be today, they're going to climb into the 20s later on today. Right now, winds are out of the east. Let's take a look at our highs and lows as recorded at the Garden City Regional Airport. We did get to 91 degrees yesterday, 107 back in 1971. Yesterday's overnight low 70, 52 back in 1975. Still no new precipitation in the bucket overnight, but hey, that is going to change. Let's look at our forecast for today. All right, we were calling for 100. It might still get to 100 in some spots in the area today, but we're calling for 95. Winds are going to switch around to the west-northwest at only 10 miles an hour. Tonight, we're going to cool down to 69. Winds are going to switch all the way around to the east-northeast at 10. Tomorrow, now, we do have a 40% chance of precipitation. This chance of precipitation will happen late morning, early afternoon. We are going to have a high of 90. Other than that, we're going to have lots of sunshine, so it's going to be good and muggy out there. If we do get the rain, winds are going to be out of the east at 15 tomorrow night. 30% chance of rain, still hanging around in the evening into the overnight. 65 degrees for our low. Winds will still be out of the east-northeast at 15. Then looking at our 7-day. Hey, look at that. We're going to cool down all the way to 87 on Friday. But sunshine sneaks back in, and I'm going to tell you right now, it says 99 on Monday and 99 on Tuesday. I would not be surprised as later we get, or the closer we get to Monday and Tuesday, we're going to see those go into the triple digits. That's a look at our weather. Be back with the markets and John Dahl after this.
For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm home. This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
As the owner of a business, I'm responsible for all these kids. No, I can't make sure they get all the fruits and veggies they need, or that they have good table manners, or that they use their inside voices, but I can make sure they get the support they need by reporting all my new hires to the state of Kansas.
When you report new hires, you make sure non-custodial parents pay their child support so kids get what they need to succeed in life.
Join me in doing one simple thing to help kids.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah. That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Welcome back. I'm now joined on set by my good friend, Mr. John Dahl. He is from Garden City. He is a Kansas House of Representatives, District 123. You survived.
I survived. I want one of them tumblers.
Email Cup, KDGL-TV. Yeah, there's a good little spot right there. Thanks for that segue. You survived the special session.
I did.
You came home with no bruises, bumps, scars, blood, nothing?
Not one, I don't think. I mean, I had a couple when I got home, but it was it went as as well as it could have gone. We were able to stop the bill that leadership wanted, that I think the courts would have denied. It was going to cut 0.5% from classrooms when they're telling us we need to influx money. And we've got a bill that passed that, it looks like all these schools gain money, but what it did was it balanced out what they're going to lose. And so, it was good enough to get us through the courts, to keep schools open, which was the goal. But next year, the school finance will be addressed very strongly, so it's very important that we get it right.
Well, and next year's a budget year, right?
It's budget year.
So you're going to have to do something.
We're going to have to do something.
There's no more kicking the can down the road on this, baby,
we just
is there?
borrowed $900 million, gave another $100 million to the governor for discretionary cuts. That's $1 billion. That's, our finances aren't real good right now.
I can't imagine that. Well, and then just recently, to plug some holes, they withheld the July payment?
Yes.
The education on paper so that it would look like, okay, we're good, but then we'll eventually pay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, I got to ask you, John, and I know you'll tell me. You guys were called back by the governor to come up and get this school financing thing so the Supreme Court would be happy. Why couldn't this have been done during regular session?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask.
Oh, okay.
It was just incredible. Some of the things that we do up there, I feel like I have common sense, and it didn't register on that meter at all. It was still pegged over here stupid, and it was, to answer that question, I can't answer it, Chris. It was, I'm just doing what I'm told.
Because, you guys, everybody had to haul back up there for 2-3 days?
2 days.
And okay, what was the amendment or the bill that the leadership wanted you to pass that you didn't think would go?
It would cut all classroom spending 0.5%. When we were going up there to add money, because that's what the court said we needed to do in order to keep schools open. But that was the bill they were twisting our arms on Thursday. And when they realized that there's absolutely no way they were going to get 63 votes, they went with Plan B, which was the moderate Republican plan, and the Democrats. There's a lot of people come together. And when I say moderate, there's a lot of people who will vote very far to the right on most issues, but when it comes to education, we have a lot more people that come into our camp. And so that bill we knew was going to be able to pass, and they knew that their bill was not going to pass. It was, they did all day Thursday, all we did was go into session, do recess, then different groups would meet, but they were doing head counts all the time, and they come to the realization sometime Thursday afternoon that there was no way that the bill that was going to pass, that I feel like would have been unconstitutional, was going to pass.
Pretty hard to come back to your district and tell people, well, we tried, but the court shut the schools.
Well, it's not the court shut the schools necessarily. I mean, they were the ones that said...
Well, they were going to be the ones that got the blame.
Of course, and that's what we always do. It's just like dealing with people sometimes. Everybody wants to point fingers at different ways. The courts ruled on how they interpret the Constitution. And how they rule on the Constitution is a plan that has been in place forever. The block grants, it didn't take Perry Mason to figure out that they were going to be unconstitutional. It was never. I can't believe that we were able to pull off the block grants for 2 years. I didn't like it one bit, but there's when you're in power, when your group's in power, you can do things that are however you feel is right. And so everyone wanted to point their fingers, not everyone. There was a lot of us that did want to point our fingers, including me, at the courts. I believe strongly in a separation of powers, and the courts did what they are to do, and that's to rule on the interpret the Constitution. And that, you look at any government book, you talk to anyone who has a clue about government, and they'll tell you that's their job. So they ruled on a court case, and this was their interpretation. You know, as a legislature, if we feel that they were wrong, what we do is we go in there and get a constitutional amendment, and it passes both houses, and it comes to the people if we felt that it was so wrong. But in my opinion, no, it wasn't wrong, and in my opinion, the courts were going to do what they had to do for us to abide by the Kansas Constitution.
Okay, so listen, while we're on that, while you guys were up there, now the Senate was debating and they voted on a bill, or what was it, a constitutional amendment to change how judges are selected?
Exactly.
Is that how it was going to work?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And it was, it didn't come to the House ever because there was no way, there again, they did a head count. They got to have 2/3, and there was nowhere near that in the House. So, you know, that's just the game. If it's like, you know, you lose a game or you lose something, and you always want to point your finger somewhere else. And so what a large group of my fellow legislators want to do is they want to blame the courts for doing their job.
So is that what they were trying to do basically is, okay, the courts aren't in our favor, so leadership was looking at a way to change the rules?
Exactly. Exactly. They wanted to change the way that judges have been chosen in Kansas forever. And it just because we didn't get our way on one vote.
Okay, but now, and judges, and I mean, give me a quick 101 on how the Supreme Court justices are selected.
We have a panel, and this panel will select 3 nominees. It's a lot more. I'm going to give you the basic 101.
That's all I want, so 101.
And these 3 nominees will go to the governor, and the governor will choose one of them, and then they're confirmed by the Senate.
Okay, and so what they wanted, and how'd they want to change that?
They wanted it so the lawyers or that group wouldn't get to choose the 3 nominees.
Who's going to pick them?
The governor.
Okay.
They wanted to take.
He wanted to eliminate the middleman.
Exactly.
He wanted
he wanted to take it away from the lawyers, the attorneys, people who know law inside out and outside in. He wanted to take it from them and give it all the power to the executive branch.
Okay, and then the Senate would have to confirm those appointees.
Yeah, and if not, then the system starts all over. The governor can choose none of the 3, and then it goes back, and they bring him another 3. You know, so I don't know where it gets. You know, when you're choosing a justice that's going to serve for life, and that needs to happen. Although we have, you know, the opportunity in this upcoming election whether we're going to retain the judge or not, so that it's not necessarily a life like it is with the national, federal level Supreme Court.
Sure.
But you know, it's a system that has worked. It's worked for a long time. You know, it's just like our school finances worked for a long time. Just, you know, like a lot of things work for a long time, and we want to make these radical changes when, you know, the system we have, maybe we can make a tweak here and there, but a radical change like we did with our tax system and things like that normally don't work.
Yeah. Been a rough year in Topeka, hadn't it?
It's been a rough session. 2 years. It's been 4 years, actually. You know,
You're such a glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I do this.
I
you know,
do.
we make
I know
such
you appreciate it, though.
Yeah, we make, you know, I think my W-2 form, we made $7,500, you know, and it's a
mess.
It's a mess.
All right. Thanks for coming by today and explaining the special session.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, John. And stick around. We'll be back with a little bit of All-Star news after this.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm home. This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah, this is the place.
And welcome back. Hey, no matter the names, the American League dominates the All-Star game in the 21st century and starts the World Series at home again. Now, back in '03, when a "this time it counts" sign was put up and right at Chicago's U.S. Cellular Field, the stars included Roger Clemens and Hank Blaylock. And because they came up big Tuesday night, Kansas City would open the World Series at home again if it wins a third straight American League pennant. Eric Hosmer stood in the middle of the field holding up a trophy. He hopes to do it again with the Kansas City Royals this fall. Hosmer and Salvador Perez homered off former Kansas City teammate Johnny Cueto during a 6-pitch span in the second inning. Hosmer added an RBI single to become the most valuable player of the All-Star game. And David Ortiz ended his All-Star game career with quite a walk-off. The popular Big Papi was embraced outside the dugout by nearly every member on the American League roster last night. That was a good deal for him. And well, after all, he is 40. And let's take a last look at the weather before we get out of here today. Right now, the temperature 84 degrees, relative humidity 60%. Winds are out of the east-southeast at 5. Barometric pressure still hanging in there at steady. Looking at the 7-day, it's going to be 95 today. Could get a little warmer than that. We do have a chance of rain rolling in here after 10 o'clock tomorrow through, tomorrow night into Friday morning, and then it's going to heat up next week, people. I ain't lying about that at all. Don't forget, cup at KDGL TV. See you later.
Keep up to date with the latest information from TV23 on our Facebook page, KDGL TV.
Something I feel when I'm right here. Something that tells me that I'm home. People are people around here. That's how it is. It's so clear. Letting it show. I've been around the world, only to find what I already know. This is the place. Everybody here knows it. This is the place. Oh, it's home to me and you. Yeah. This is the place.
Hi, I'm Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs at noon weekdays right here on TV23. Hey, do you think you have an idea for something that would make a great segment? Somebody that would make a great interview? What about a community event that needs highlighting? Let us know here at the station. Email us news@kdgltv.com.
This is the place.
Hi, Chris Jewell, host of High Plains Today, a 30-minute news and information program that airs weekdays at noon right here on TV23. We talk about news, we talk about sports, we talk about weather, we're even going to talk entertainment. We'll have live guests right here on set with me. So, every day at noon, tune in, High Plains Today. We'll see you then.
Weekdays here on TV23.